Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy RedCloud. Today I'm going to be going over profession tools in World of Warcraft: The War Within. I'll be explaining the stats on the profession tools. I'll also be explaining how to craft the profession tools if you want to, or which ones you should be buying on the auction house. More importantly, which ones you need for crafting specific things and gathering specific types of materials. Let's get into that. All right, guys, before we get into the video, I do want to let you know I stream every day on Twitch. Link will be in the description below. It's just twitch.tv/RedCloud. Feel free to like the video and subscribe or share this with anybody that needs profession tools explained to them. That way they can be very knowledgeable and spread the word. So what we're going to be doing, guys, we're going to be opening up our skinning real quick. You guys obviously may not have skinning. I am going to be explaining what the profession skills are, and then we'll go ahead and dive into the tools in a short little while. So pretty much what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at our skill. Our skill increases the quality of the items you gather, right? So this is for gathering, right? Skill is also going to be important for crafting. It will also increase the quality of the items. It'll use less of the concentration as well for the items that you craft. So craft and gather, kind of the same thing for skill. Finesse, for example, finesse has the higher chance of gathering more of that item that you are gathering. So for skinning, if you're skinning storm charged leather, it has a higher chance of gathering multiple or more of that main item. That's how that works. So for finesse, pretty simple, straightforward. And then for deftness, increases your gathering speed. So gathering speed, of course, is very important if you're doing a lot of farming. Skinning is one of those ones that faster equals better. So definitely important. And then the other one is perception. Perception is the ability to see and gather higher quality materials when you are gathering skinning material. This is incredibly good, especially if you are spec'd to a specific type of profession gathering, like trophy taker. Trophy taker pretty much increases your perception. This is the one we want to focus on here. So the more I put into trophy taker, for example, the more perception I will have while gathering. So I'm not going to go into skinning, but pretty much that is the main three for gathering. All right, guys. So for a crafting profession, I've got tailoring here on my warrior. Pretty much it's got a different types of stats, right? So there's a few different ones. So resourcefulness is the ability to use a fewer chance of the tradable regions that you are crafting with. This is very good, obviously, if you want to save as much, especially if the region that you're using is very expensive. So that is a very good stat to prioritize. Crafting speed, obviously, self-explanatory. It lets you craft faster. This is very useful if you are doing mass amounts of crafting. And then we've got multi-craft, which essentially you have a higher chance to craft additional items. This is very good, especially if you want to potentially craft multiple of one thing, potentially a proc that will allow you to get 2 or 3 of one item when you've only crafted one item. This is very useful for alchemy and other professions where you are mass crafting continuously. And then you've got ingenuity. Ingenuity has a chance to have a breakthrough when you use concentration, right? So concentration would be like 105. And what it does, it refunds 60% of the concentration spent. This is very useful if you are doing a lot of big crafts throughout your day. You have alts dedicated to purely just crafting big chunky items, like let's say potentially like a let's say this coat, for example, right? Somebody wants this on like 619, for example, and it uses 300 concentration. If you manage to have the proc through ingenuity, you will have a good portion of that back, and therefore you can craft again and make more money through your crafting orders. So that's why ingenuity is good, right? So what we're going to be doing next, guys, since we have an understanding of the actual skills and the stats of what they do, we're going to be looking at the actual items, the profession equipment, right? So let's take, for example, some of the most common professions that there are in the game right now. So let's do herbalism, and let's do mining. Actually, mining is probably more common than herbalism. So what you want to do Make sure that current expansion only is set. You don't want anything that was from a previous expansion. And what you always want to do, all right, number one thing that I do, I don't care what anybody else says, I always get the best item level one. All right, simple, straightforward. You would think that it's obviously common sense, but some people are selling these ones that are less than the highest item level one for more. So don't buy them just because they're more expensive. Just buy the one with the highest item level. And what matters is, as you can tell here, it says plus 238 of one random stat. All right. And by the way, the reason why we want to get the highest item level one is because when you equip it, you can see the difference in the stat. So it's 238 of one random stat versus 219, and then so on and so forth. So pretty much what we're doing depends on your build, obviously, what kind of build you're going for with your profession, but you can look at the stat that it's giving you: perception, deafness, finesse, right? So when we're farming, like, or mining, for example, you may want just multiples of the same thing. You would want plus finesse, right? Because finesse, what it does, since I explained it earlier, it allows you to get the same thing that you're farming, right? Not a higher quality, not a random region, but the same of that item. So if you're mass farming one single herb or one single leather, or finesse would be something that you'd want to prioritize here. But if you want like the rare null stones, or the rare leather that drops off of certain mobs, or the rare herbs that drop off of certain mobs, perception is something that you would want to focus on, because perception, again, it increases the rarity of the item, right? So there are different builds that you can go when it comes to your professions, but that alone is going to be entirely separate videos for each profession that I'm going to be working on eventually, for builds on each of those. Be sure to subscribe for more of that. But that's how you can tell which one you should be working on, right? It's about what you want out of your profession. The same thing goes with accessories. All right, so accessories are the same exact thing. You go for the highest item level because it gives you the best stat. All right, and essentially for mining, there's only two, which is good because some professions have like three, and they're expensive. Bitsmus miner's headgear. I don't believe this one changes as they go down. This one you would just go with the cheapest one that's possible to buy. And the same thing with the miner's bismuth hoard. Check that out real quick. Nope, everything seems to be all finesse here. So you would just be able to buy the finesse one. Finesse is going to be great for mining, gives you multiple of the thing that you're mining for. Deafness increases the speed, and perception increases the rarity. So very simple, straightforward. Now I'm going to do the same thing for a crafting profession like enchanting, for example. Again, number one thing you get is the highest item level, even though it is more expensive. Trust me, it's worth it in the end to spend the gold. And then you're going to want to work on whatever it is that you want to prioritize. So resourcefulness, I would say resourcefulness is nice, but not super worth it for enchanting. I'd probably say one of the best things for enchanting would probably be multi-craft or ingenuity. Crafting speed is good, but definitely not that important, because, you know, obviously it's good, but what we're doing for enchanting, we might be enchanting bigger enchants throughout the day that uses more of our knowledge, our concentration, I mean. And then since it's a higher chance to multi-craft that particular item, you may end up getting two of those items. Or if you're disenchanting, you may get more disenchanting dust. So that's something to factor in as well, right? So we're not going to go too much into that, but same thing with accessories, right? So we've got the Incanter Shard, and the Incanter Shard is all the same: resourcefulness, crafting speed. Same thing. So you can get the most expensive one, and then the Enchanter's Hat is going to be the same thing as well. 551 is the highest item level we can go for that one. So we're going to go ahead and just get whichever one is cheapest here, because they're all the same. And then once you're done, you can go ahead and equip them. And equipping them is super easy as well. All you do is literally just right click them and you can equip them. And then as you can see, this is my setup for mine. I've got plus finesse, deafness, perception. That way I get a lot of the same type of leather that I'm farming for already on my skinning. All right, guys, so that pretty much explains all the profession tools that are in World of Warcraft: The War Within. If you guys have any comments, any questions that you guys want to go ahead and, have them asked personally, you can go ahead over to my Twitch channel. I'd seriously appreciate it if you would, but you can feel free to ask me and I'll answer them right there live on Twitch. That way you guys can get that immediate answer. And then if you guys like the content that I just made for you guys, feel free to like the video, subscribe for more content like this. Be on the lookout for more profession guides and more builds that I'm going to be working on for professions so you guys can make your gold, and hopefully more World of Warcraft content. And be on the lookout for more World of Warcraft content for the War Within. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Thanks for watching again. Peace out.